My name is Autumn Westbrook and I am 25 years old. My mother had always enjoyed making jokes at my expense since I was young. When I wore a dress, she would mock me mercilessly. "Look at yourself getting as fat as a pig, and you still have the nerve to wear a dress. Even a pig would be more pleasant to look at than you." When I earned perfect scores on my exams, she would dismiss my achievements with a wave of her hand. Do I look like I was born yesterday? You probably copied those answers from someone else. How shameless. When I worked part-time jobs and saved enough money to buy myself an iPad, my mother grabbed me by the collar and interrogated me relentlessly. "Did you go out and sell yourself behind my back? How much money do you make per night?" At first, these comments wounded me deeply, but gradually I became accustomed to her cruel sense of humor. Then one day, I tried using the same tone with my sister that my mother always used with me. "If you do not find a job soon, you will have to live off our parents forever. The family can barely afford to support you as it is." My mother's hand came down across my face with a sharp slap. "You have no manners whatsoever. Do you not know how to speak properly? What if you hurt your sister's feelings?" The right side of my face burned with pain, and I stood there in shock, completely stunned by her reaction. My mother's eyes filled with venom as she glared at me like I was her sworn enemy. "Has all your education gone to waste? Your sister cannot find work, but I will take care of her. You do not need to stick your nose where it does not belong." I quickly tried to explain myself. I was just making a casual joke. My mother let out a cold snort. "I think you are just plain nasty. You said exactly what you were thinking. You simply cannot stand to see your sister doing better than you." I stood there bewildered. My mother had always spoken to me in exactly this manner, and I had merely been imitating her behavior. Why was she so furious with me now? And I'm wondering, where would this happen in your world? Tell me your city or country in the comments. Subscribe for more. So here's what happened next. My father called us all to dinner, and I stared down at a table covered with spicy Mexican chilies, unable to bring myself to pick up my fork. My sister Sierra could not get enough spicy food, but I had specifically told my mother yesterday that I had just had dental work done, and the dentist had explicitly instructed me to avoid spicy foods for the time being. My mother busily served Sierra, laughing constantly, and then she made what seemed like an offhand comment. "Some people have the life of a servant but the expectations of a princess, waiting for others to serve them at every meal." I could hear the passive-aggressive tone in my mother's voice, so I tried to hide my tears by focusing on eating. Suddenly, I bit down on something hard, and a sharp, piercing pain shot through my tooth. I spit the object out and discovered it was a small pebble. I looked toward my mother, but she completely ignored me. I called her name several times, and she irritably slammed down her fork. "Why are you staring at me? How was I supposed to know you would be so unlucky? You are the only person in this entire family who found a stone in your food. What terrible luck." "I was just making a joke. What is with that look you are giving me? You have bad luck and now you want to blame me for it." I endured the pain, my eyes already blurry with tears. "I told you I just had dental work done and cannot bite down on hard objects." My mother's face immediately darkened with anger. Fine. Everything is my fault. I owe you everything, is that right? One tooth is more important to you than your own mother. You cannot even take a simple joke. What an ungrateful child." I looked around at the others at the table. My father avoided eye contact and mumbled, "Come on now. Your mother did not do it on purpose. You should apologize to her." Sierra covered her mouth and giggled. "Sister, it really does not matter whether you are missing a tooth or not. You look equally ugly either way." She and my mother exchanged glances, and both of them burst into laughter. My mother spoke as if it were the most natural thing in the world. "It was just a joke. I hope you are not going to get all upset again." I gripped my fork tightly. The steaks, lobster, and lamb chops on the table had all been purchased with my money. My mother loved coffee, so I had specifically asked a friend to bring back several pounds of premium coffee beans from Seattle. There was also the belt for my father and the cosmetics for Sierra. I had considered everyone's preferences, yet they would not even speak up for me. I suddenly realized how meaningless it was to remain in this house. I went to my room and packed a few clothes. When I came out with my suitcase, my mother and Sierra were sitting comfortably on the leather sofa in the living room, leisurely cracking sunflower seeds. My mother lifted her chin and gave me orders. "Go wash the dishes." Her gaze fell on my suitcase and she rolled her eyes. "You are so annoying. You cannot even handle a few jokes. You are ugly and you cause so much drama. Why cannot you learn from your sister?" Jokes, always jokes. When I was little, my aunt gave me a dress with lace trim. I eagerly put it on, but when my mother saw me, she said, "Look at yourself, getting as fat as a pig, and you still have the nerve to wear a dress. Even a pig would be more pleasant to look at than you," I quietly protested. "Aunt said I am a normal weight and not fat." My mother laughed loudly. "Your aunt was lying to you. Do you not know what you look like? Do you not have eyes in your head?" She brought over a mirror with an almost malicious smile on her face. "You are just a little country bumpkin, a little ugly duckling. And look at your lips, like a pig's snout, lips just like a pig. Can you see clearly now?" I could not hold back any longer and burst into tears, which only made my mother angrier. "It was just a joke. You are such an ungrateful child." But my mother's lips looked exactly the same as mine. When I was in college, I saved money by eating ramen and working at Target to buy myself an iPad. When my mother found out, she drove to my campus the next day, grabbed me by the collar, and slapped me across the face. "Autumn Westbrook, have you no shame? I only give you $800 a month for living expenses. Where did you get the money to buy an iPad?" More and more people gathered to watch, and my mother became even more animated in her accusations. She called me shameless, a whore, accused me of selling my body, until the Dean of Student Affairs personally intervened, and my advisor and classmates testified that I had bought the iPad with money from my part-time job. Only then did my mother reluctantly stop. She blamed me for the scene. "What do you have a mouth for if you are not going to use it? Can you not speak up for yourself? People would think you were mute if they did not know better." After scolding me, she added, "I was just worried you were getting into trouble. I was looking out for you. Do not take it so seriously." She also took my iPad away and gave it to my cousin, telling me not to be so stingy. Even now, I cannot remember how many similar jokes my mother has made at my expense over the years. But today's incident made me realize that my mother might not actually be joking at all. Her malice toward me was far too obvious. I stood up, and under my mother's shocked gaze, I stuffed all the steaks, lamb chops, and coffee beans from the refrigerator into shopping bags. I also took Sierra's skincare products and my father's belt. Sierra screamed at me, "Are you out of your mind? Those are my things." My mother was furious. "You are such a grown woman, and you cannot even take a joke. People like you will be despised wherever you go in society." I looked at her seriously. "Mom, are you actually joking with me, or are you using jokes as an excuse to belittle and suppress me? When both parties find something funny, that is called a joke. If you have a problem with me, you can say so directly. What you are doing is quite disgusting." My mother opened and closed her mouth, a flash of guilt crossing her face. Well, you still should not speak to your elders that way. I am your mother. I had run out of patience. I picked up my suitcase and slammed the door behind me. After staying at the Marriott Hotel for 5 days, my father called me. Autumn, your mother was definitely out of line that day. She is getting older, so do not hold it against her. Come home for dinner when you have time. Your mother specifically made your favorite roasted chicken. I remained silent. Is there anything else? I can buy roasted chicken myself. I will not be coming home. I could faintly hear my mother's voice in the background, and my father stammered. Your mother said the Bird's Nest health supplements you bought last time were quite good. And your sister, she has been using that iPhone for 3 or 4 years now. I understood immediately. This was their real purpose. I suddenly wanted to know how they would react if I used the same approach to joke with them. On the day I returned home, I deliberately came empty-handed. My mother came to greet me enthusiastically, but when she saw that my hands were empty, she froze for a few seconds, then forced a smile that created wrinkles all over her face. I understand. There were too many things to carry, so you left them in the car, right? I will have your father go down and get them. No, I did not buy anything. The air became silent. My mother's face immediately turned dark, and she raised her voice to scold me. Tell me, what daughter comes home empty-handed? You have a job now, but you still have the nerve to eat and drink for free. I would have been better off raising a dog instead of you. Sierra also made sarcastic comments. Sister, if you did not want to buy anything, you should have just said so. It is not like our mom is counting on your money anyway. Now you are making us look petty. I took a deep breath and said, Yes. Who says that just because you promise to do something, you actually have to do it? I was just joking with you all. My mother's expression froze. When I was 17 years old, I desperately wanted a Tiffany necklace. I begged for it from age 17 to 20, and my mother finally agreed to take me to the jewelry store. I was overjoyed and selected the least expensive necklace. The sales associate had already wrapped it up for me, but when it came time to pay, my mother had disappeared. I do not remember how I managed to walk out of that jewelry store that day. I only remember the pointing and whispering of passers-by and the sympathetic look in the sales associate's eyes. My mother was lying comfortably in the recliner in the living room, watching reruns of Sex and the City. She pursed her lips and said, Who said that going to a jewelry store means you have to buy jewelry? I was just joking with you to teach you a lesson. My money does not grow on trees. Now, recently, I noticed that Sierra was wearing a heavy Pandora bracelet. I pushed down the sadness in my heart. Ignoring their reactions, I walked straight into the house. The dining table was set with a complete meal. There were 3 servings of roasted chicken on top. There was the barbecue flavor that my father loved, the honey mustard flavor that Sierra enjoyed, but nothing in the lemon herb flavor that I preferred. I was about to leave when my company suddenly called an emergency video conference. Before closing my bedroom door, I specifically told my mother not to knock and disturb my meeting, and I also asked her to prepare some lemon herb roasted chicken. Less than 5 minutes later, the door was being pounded so hard it shook. Open up, I need to come in and vacuum. I apologized to the clients and said loudly, I am in a meeting right now, please wait until later. But the knocking became even louder, and the door vibrated from the force. My mother seemed determined that everyone should hear her as she pounded and shouted, All you do all day long is hide in this room. Look at all the hair on your carpet. You are such a messy girl. You will never get married because no one will want you. Open this door right now. Sierra chimed in from the side. Exactly. Sister, what kind of work requires you to close the door? You are not doing something shady, are you? My mother found the key and simply turned the lock, bursting into the room and unleashing a torrent of abuse at me. What kind of work requires closing the door? I think you are just feeling guilty about something. You are so young but already trying to take shortcuts. What a waste of all these years raising you. The clients on the video call looked uncomfortable and said they would reconsider the collaboration. My mother looked triumphant. Well, you cannot blame me for that. I was kindly trying to help you clean your room. You messed up your own work, so do not try to pin it on me. Before I could speak, Sierra jumped in. Sister, Mum was just joking with you. In the end, it is your own problem. Am I right? I could not help but applaud. Yes, it was just a joke. How could I take it to heart? Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you. I was just discussing with the client about getting you a referral to their company. The base salary would be $60,000 per year, working 4 days a week, with excellent benefits, and Tyler, the guy you have a crush on, also works at this company. I shook my head with feigned regret. Too bad my mother ruined it all. But it is okay, it was just a joke. I understand. My mother stared with wide eyes, her lips trembling. Sierra let out a scream and nearly went mad with rage. She slapped my mother across the face. You old witch! This is all your fault. Why did you have to come into the room? Now I have lost my job and I will never see my crush again. Damn it! Sierra was about to strike again when I intervened. Enough! Did you not say it yourself? It was just a joke. Mom did not do it on purpose. Let it go. Bullshit. I am telling you, she did it on purpose. She wanted to sabotage your work. Sierra abruptly stopped speaking. My mother cried and grabbed my hand. Autumn, I was wrong. I should not have joked around carelessly. Please go back and beg them to give your sister a chance. She has had such a hard time. I laughed coldly. Oh, now you know it is not funny. But this is all thanks to you, is it not? I do not mind losing my job, but your precious daughter cannot suffer even the slightest grievance. How hypocritical of you. I stopped listening to whatever my mother said after that. On the dining table sat 3 plates filled with roasted chicken, but there was no portion for me. I no longer felt any attachment to this place. I closed the door behind me, and I could still hear my mother crying and shouting inside, calling me an ungrateful child, saying I was worse than an animal, that she wanted to cut all ties with me. I smiled. Fine. My mother loved making jokes, did she not? Perfect. I wanted to play a few jokes with her too. The next day, my mother wrapped herself up tightly and secretly drove out in her Honda Civic. As soon as she left, I immediately called my father in a panic. Dad, I just saw Mom hugging and embracing another man, and they headed toward the motel. My father exploded with rage upon hearing this. That bitch, how dare she make me a cuckold? Autumn, keep an eye on them. I am coming right over. I pretended to tremble. Dad, there are 2 of them, and that man is tall and strong. My father spat. I really cannot count on you for anything. Wait there. I am calling your grandparents and several relatives over. Let everyone see what kind of woman she really is. I watched my mother hand money to the man and escort him into the motel. Just as they emerged, my father arrived with more than a dozen people, swinging a baseball bat and striking the man hard on the back of the head. You bastard adulterer! How dare you have an affair right under my nose? I will beat you to death. The man collapsed to the ground, and my father, without even looking, kicked him viciously in the stomach more than 10 times. My mother cried and tried to intervene, But my father's eyes blazed with fury as he slapped her twice across the face, sending her tumbling to the ground. "You are still protecting this pretty boy. Diana, listen to me clearly. If you do not want to be married anymore, then let us get divorced. Get the hell away from me. I will not give you a single penny in the settlement." My mother cried until her face was covered with tears and mucus, grabbing onto my father's pants leg and shaking her head desperately. "No, husband, you have misunderstood me. He is my brother." The man lay on the ground, beaten black and blue, moaning in pain. "Brother-in-law, stop hitting me. It is me." When everyone looked closely, it really was my worthless uncle. I covered my mouth in surprise. "Mom, do not be angry. I was just joking with you. I never expected Dad to take it seriously." "But why were you meeting my uncle so secretively? Your bag looks so full. What is in there?" My mother glared at me fiercely, and I looked back at her innocently. My father became suspicious and grabbed the bag, which was filled entirely with cash. My father flew into a rage, throwing the bag at my mother's face. "How many times is this now? Using my money to subsidize your brother? Are we not going to live our own lives anymore? Have you lost your mind?" My mother looked panicked. "Husband, I promise this will never happen again. But he is my brother. Get out. If you care about him so much, go back to your family's house and live with your brother. Stop dragging me down." The crowd of onlookers surrounded them, everyone pointing their phones at my mother. Within half an hour, my mother had made it onto the local Facebook trending topics. Relatives who had not been in contact for 800 years came to mock her. My mother locked herself in the master bedroom and wailed, her eyes swelling up like a goldfish. She stared at me with hatred. "Autumn Westbrook, you little tramp. I really regret not strangling you when you were born. You are nothing but trouble." I clicked my tongue. "Mom, how can you not even take a joke? You are so old, but you are still so fragile." My mother heard this familiar tone and froze. Her eyes darted around and her body trembled slightly with fear. I had no intention of letting her off so easily. This was just the beginning. My mother contacted me a week later. She sent me text messages. "Why is there no internet at home? Come back and check it out right away. The water tap is not working either. Contact the property management company. I want to file a complaint. There is no food at home. Pick some up on your way back. Oh, and bring your father 2 bottles of good whiskey." I was too lazy to reply. I put down my phone and leisurely applied a face mask. My mother was a person who never knew moderation. The electricity bill could reach over $500 a month, and she would leave the water faucet running all night, nearly flooding the house. Whenever I made even the slightest suggestion, my mother would go around crying to people that I was abusing her. My mother flew into a rage and sent another message. "Autumn, are you blind? You see the messages but do not respond. If you have the ability, never come back. You might as well die out there." In the evening, my mother posted a Facebook status with a picture of Sierra paying the water and electricity bills. "People who truly care about you will not calculate what they give. The earth will keep turning without anyone. Do not think too highly of yourself." Someone came to ask questions, and my mother hinted in the comments section, "My younger daughter is so understanding, unlike the older one who has no conscience at all." I was unfazed and immediately listed the house for sale on Zillow. A few days later, buyers came to the door and demanded they move out within 2 days. My mother and the others panicked. When I woke up in the morning, my phone had 37 missed calls and the text messages had reached 99 plus. I clicked on a voice message. Autumn, you beast. You are worse than a pig or dog. Your wings have gotten strong, so now you want to kick your parents out. You have no conscience, no morals, no shame. We worked so hard to raise you all these years. From now on, we are cutting all ties. When are you going to pay me back for all the living expenses from high school through college? I scrolled to the last message, where my mother could no longer curse and her voice was filled with sobbing. Autumn, you cannot really ignore us. Those people said you sold the house and told us to get out. It is the middle of winter. Where will we sleep at night? I do not have a penny on me. I called back, and my mother answered eagerly. My dear daughter, you finally answered the phone. A crazy person kicked your father, your sister, and me out. Come back quickly and sue him for breaking and entering. I spoke slowly and deliberately. I forgot to mention that I already sold the house, so you all need to figure things out for yourselves. My mother's voice immediately rose 8 octaves. You sold the house? When did you sell it? How could you not discuss such a big decision with us? Autumn, do you have no shame? You have learned how to scheme against your own family members. How did I give birth to such a worthless piece of trash like you? You clearly promised before that you would leave this house to your sister to live in. Either you compensate your sister with another house, or give us the money. I laughed. You believe whatever I tell you. I was just joking with you. This house was bought with my money, and I can sell it whenever I want. You have no right to interfere. I had bought the house less than 3 months ago when my mother, under the pretense of taking care of me, moved in with my father and Sierra, contributing nothing financially while treating me like a maid. My mother had repeatedly hinted in front of others that I should transfer the house to Sierra. When I refused, she turned around and accused me of being unfilial, saying I could not even understand a simple joke. My mother cried until she could barely breathe. My life is so bitter. What a family misfortune. I made myself a pot of fragrant tomato and potato beef stew. Why are you crying? I learned this from you. Is this not your favorite trick? That unpaid for necklace, those promises of, if you get perfect scores, I will take you to Disneyland. Those seemingly teasing remarks that were ultimately dismissed as jokes, were actually filled with my mother's malice, like a sword that stabbed the young me until I was covered in wounds. Now that sword was pointed at herself, and she finally knew what pain felt like. I said, here is what we will do. Sierra is so considerate, so let her pay for everything. I have no conscience, so I will not bother you anymore. I could hear my mother's desperate wailing through the phone, along with my father's roaring and Sierra's crying. As expected, they had a huge fight in the family group chat, cursing and blaming each other. The once warm facade had completely disappeared. I watched enough of the show and quietly left the family group. Do not worry. There is still one big gift waiting for you all. On Saturday, I brought fruit to visit my parents at the subsidized housing apartment. 3 people were crammed into a space of less than 400 square feet, where they could bump into each other just by turning around. The walls were covered with stains, the neighbors' cursing could be clearly heard, and the air was filled with an indescribable moldy smell. When she saw me, my mother's eyes flashed with intense hatred. She angrily threw down her dirty rag, her voice sharp and piercing. What? Is it not enough that you have ruined us? Did you come here specifically to watch us suffer? Let me tell you, Autumn, if you dare abandon us, I will sue you in court and ruin your reputation. I smiled and placed the fruit on the floor. Dad, Mum, I was too impulsive before. I apologize to you both. I came here to tell you some good news. I won the lottery. In an instant, my mother's eyes lit up and my father and Sierra jumped up from the broken sofa and quickly surrounded me. Is it real? How much did you win? I took out the lottery ticket, and my mother stared fixedly at the numbers on it, confirming them over and over again. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, 30 million. We won 30 million. Marcus, our family is rich. My mother was so excited she could barely speak coherently. Sierra's face flushed red with excitement, and my father could not stop the corners of his mouth from turning up. He coughed twice. Autumn, how do you plan to allocate this money? I answered, I have already thought it through. After taxes, there will still be 18 million left. I will give you 8 million for retirement, put 3 million in a bank savings account, and the rest. I asked, is 8 million not enough? How much do you want? My father and mother exchanged glances, their eyes revealing pure greed. We raised you for more than 20 years. The costs alone must be more than 10 million, right? Plus 3 million. Your sister is young, so you need to look out for her. Give her 2 million and you can keep the remaining 1 million. How does that sound? Fair enough, right? I sneered inwardly. From $18 million in prize money, they were not even willing to leave me the smallest portion. What wonderful parents I have. I shook my head. No way. I can only give you 8 million at most, not a penny more. My mother opened her mouth to curse, but before the words came out, my father pulled her aside. The two exchanged several meaningful looks, and my father's expression became gentle. All right, we are family, and it does not matter how much money we divide up. Autumn, stay here tonight. Late at night, while I was sleeping soundly, I suddenly heard some commotion. I jolted awake and turned on my phone's flashlight to see my mother holding my lottery ticket in her hand. Just as I was about to get up, Sierra rushed over and pinned me down while my father raised his hand and slapped me several times across the face. Damn it, after raising you all these years, you cannot even bear to give us 10 million. I should have sold you for tuition money instead. I gasped in pain and pleaded, Dad, I bought that lottery ticket. Let us talk this through calmly. My father kicked me again. Yours. The lottery ticket belongs to whoever has it in their hands. Once we cash it in, I am going to live in a mansion and drive sports cars. And I am going to break your legs and make you crawl on the streets picking up garbage. Sierra looked excited. Dad, I want to buy new handbags and travel to Europe. The three of them were so excited they forgot themselves. My mother looked at me with disgust and simply dragged me outside. Get out, get out, get out. I have been annoyed with you for a long time. Do not even think about getting your hands on that lottery money. It all belongs to us. I kept my head down, my shoulders shaking slightly. My mother spat on the ground. Crying will not help you. How unlucky. After she closed the door, I could not help but laugh out loud. Finally, they had taken the bait. They could not even wait to cash in the lottery ticket. That same day, my father went to the Indian casino and lost $300,000. He waved his hand grandly. I won the lottery. This little bit of money is nothing. Keep playing. My mother asked someone to help her buy products online and spent over $100,000 on health supplements in one go. Sierra threw a party for her college friends, partying all night at nightclubs, racking up nearly $200,000 in bills. She also made a high-profile confession to Tyler and came to show off to me. Did you see that? I can be with the person I like even without you. When fate comes, nothing can stop it. Unlike you, just an old maid. I smiled without saying anything. A few days later, creditors blocked the door of the subsidized housing apartment. It has been 3 days. When are you going to pay back the money you owe me? My father rubbed his sleepy eyes and clicked his tongue impatiently. Look how small-minded you are. Once I cash in my prize, 300,000 will be pocket change. How could I shortchange you? The leading tough guy looked menacing and grabbed my father by the collar, dragging him to the car. Fine, let us go cash it in today. I cannot wait any longer. My father complained and grumbled as a group of them went to the State Lottery Redemption Center. My father straightened his clothes and stood up straight. Hey, help me redeem this prize, make it quick. The staff member took the lottery ticket and my father's identification, scanned the code, and then coldly uttered a single sentence. Sorry, this lottery ticket is invalid. My father's eyes widened. How is that possible? I clearly won the $30 million jackpot. Where did my 30 million go? The lottery ticket fell to the ground and a passerby picked it up to look at it. What is this? This is a prank prop sold online for $2 each. It is fake. If you really won 30 million, it would have been on the news already. How could there be no news at all? You must have been daydreaming. The creditor keenly picked up on this information, his face darkening. So you have no money? Are you making a fool out of me? My father crouched on the ground, muttering to himself. Impossible, impossible. Someone must have switched my lottery ticket. Yes, it must be Autumn who did something shady. Call her. My mother frantically dialed my phone. Autumn, where exactly did you hide the lottery ticket? Give me back my money right now, or I will call the police and have you arrested. I sounded completely baffled. Mum, that was a prank lottery ticket I bought randomly to make you all happy. You did not really think I won the lottery, did you? Ah! The creditor heard my words and punched my father in the face. Blood splattered everywhere as more than a dozen men kicked him until he was rolling on the ground. My father screamed in agony and my mother was so frightened she started crying. Autumn, please help us. He is your father. How much money do you have right now? Help him pay off his debt, please. I am begging you. Sure, how much do you need? Just tell me. My mother was overjoyed. Not much, 300,000. I agreed readily. Fine, where are you planning to bury my father? I will burn paper money for him right away. Forget 300,000, even 3 million would not be a problem. My mother was stunned. Autumn, you damn bitch, you ungrateful wolf. You do not know how to be grateful. You have no conscience. You are not even human. I was not angry and replied calmly. Mum, why are you getting so worked up? I was just joking with you. Actually, I do not have a single penny, and even if I did, I would not give it to you. I do not want you to get any benefit from me whatsoever. Do you understand? Bang. I heard a loud crash from the other end, followed by people shouting, "Oh no, this lady has fainted." My mother had a stroke and was paralyzed in bed, her face twisted and her mouth crooked, constantly drooling. My father was beaten into a severe coma by creditors and was kept alive only by a ventilator. The doctor said there was a high probability he would become a vegetable. Sierra owed the nightclub $500,000, was sued by the management, became a deadbeat debtor who could not even fly on airplanes, and was imprisoned for a period of time. After getting out of jail, creditors blocked her door every day, smashing windows and throwing paint. Sierra was so scared she hid inside and did not dare come out. I hired a caregiver for my mother. I was responsible during the day, and the caregiver took the night shift. When I went to the hospital, I carried an insulated container with tender bass fish, fragrant mushroom soup, and Caesar salad. My mother stared at the food, her throat moving as she swallowed continuously. I moved the dishes farther away. "Mum, that is my food. This is what you eat." I had deliberately let the bread go stale and used overnight leftovers without adding a single drop of olive oil. Did you not always say I was fat like a pig, full of fat, so you only allowed me to eat boiled vegetables? I remembered, so I specially made this nutritious meal for you. How healthy it is. My mother had tears in her eyes as she tremblingly put the bread in her mouth. When breadcrumbs fell, I slapped her without hesitation. My voice was gentle as I wiped her mouth. Why are you crying? Do not be angry. I was just joking with you. When she heard the words "just joking," my mother reacted as if she had been electrocuted, her eyes filled with fear. I said, "You are not hungry, are you? Then you do not need to eat." I threw the food in the trash can and then sat down humming a tune while scrolling through Instagram. During this time, my mother called out to me several times. She wanted to use the bathroom, but I turned a deaf ear and even put in earplugs. When the evening caregiver came to take over, I stretched and symbolically tidied up a bit while wearing a mask. The caregiver saw this and praised me. "Miss Westbrook, daughters as filial as you are rare these days. You are so busy with work, yet you still find time to come to the hospital to provide care. It must be so difficult for you." My mother lay in bed. She had not eaten anything today and was dizzy from hunger. The area beneath her was also a mess. Hearing the caregiver's words, my mother struggled violently, making incoherent sounds and drooling even more. The caregiver's face showed a flash of disgust. Sigh. Some elderly people are like this. They like to cause trouble for no reason and deliberately torment their children. You have such a hard time. I smiled at the caregiver, and along with a haggard selfie, I posted an Instagram story. Nutritious meal made for Mom. No matter how hard it is, as long as family is healthy, it is all worth it. All my aunts and relatives liked the post and praised me for being filial and not holding grudges. I had really improved my reputation among the relatives. I continued this routine every day, and within half a month, my mother had lost a full 20 pounds. I was extremely anxious and sought help on Instagram. Urgent. My mom is not satisfied with any of the food I make. Does anyone have recipe recommendations? Relatives rallied to my defense. Your mother is going too far. You make so many dishes every day, but she still picks and chooses. She is deliberately tormenting you. If I had such a filial daughter, I would be laughing in my sleep. She is still being difficult on purpose. I think she just does not have the good fortune to enjoy it. Gradually, my mother's condition improved somewhat, and she could speak again. On this day, I routinely supervised my mother taking her medication. After my mother swallowed the pills, I suddenly slapped my forehead. Oh my, I think I just saw it wrong. Blood thinners and aspirin cannot be taken together. That combination can kill people. My mother's pupils contracted, and she used all her strength to push me backward forcefully. You damn bitch, I knew you had bad intentions. Why do you not just go die already? My head hit the corner of the table, and something wet trickled down. When I touched it with my hand, it was blood. I did not dodge, but instead fell down deliberately, gasping in pain. My mother glared at me viciously and was about to throw a water glass at me when the door opened. Relatives who had come to visit crowded in the doorway and saw my mother with a ferocious expression, preparing to hit me while I cowered on the floor trembling. Everyone immediately exploded. My male cousins rushed over to help me up, and my aunt pointed at my mother's nose, furious. Diana, enough is enough. Autumn works so hard every day to take care of you, and you actually hit her. You are being completely unreasonable. My mother shook her head desperately. It is not like that. You have all been deceived by her. She wanted to kill me by deliberately giving me 2 types of medicine that could cause death. Everyone looked skeptical and handed the medications to a doctor for examination. The doctor quickly provided an answer. These 2 medications were specifically designed to help improve stroke recovery and were quite expensive. My mother stared at the test results in disbelief. This. I clearly saw her switch the medicine. My aunt sighed. I think you have lost your mind. You should go to a psychiatric hospital and get your brain checked. No, I am not lying. Go look at that lunchbox. Autumn feeds me spoiled food and leftovers every day, does not let me use the bathroom, does not give me water to drink. She abuses me. Go look quickly. My female cousin opened the lunchbox, which contained garlic shrimp, teriyaki chicken, and carrot corn soup, all looking and smelling delicious. My second aunt said, "Is this not the nutritious recipe that Autumn asked me for a few days ago? Diana, feel your own conscience. How could you accuse your daughter like this and lose all sense of shame?" No matter how my mother tried to explain, the relatives all believed that she was falsely accusing me. Everyone found her disgusting and annoying, as if she were some kind of fly. They sat down for just a few minutes before finding excuses to leave. My mother stared blankly, tears slowly flowing down her cheeks. "What exactly do you want? Would you be happy if you drove me to death?" My voice was affectionate. "Mom, what are you talking about? I was just playing a little joke with you. Why are you reacting so strongly?" When my mother heard the words, "playing a joke," she reacted as if she had been struck by lightning, her eyes filled with terror. She suddenly rolled out of bed and kowtowed to me repeatedly. "Autumn, I was wrong. I should not have made random jokes with you. Please let me go. I deserve to die. Actually, I just do not like you. I think you are ugly. A fortune teller said you would bring me bad luck, so I used joking as an excuse to hit you and scold you. I know I was wrong. I will definitely change in the future." My mother's forehead was red and swollen, and she looked quite pitiful, but I remained unmoved. Just a few painless apologies could not make up for the 20+ years of suffering I had endured. How ridiculous. I helped her up, maintaining my usual calm demeanor. "Mom, remember this. No matter what happens, you will always be my mother." My mother looked at me with surprise and joy, thinking I had forgiven her. Sierra and I had a clear division of labor. She would support our father and I would support our mother. My father had become a vegetable, essentially a bottomless pit. Sierra was already drowning in debt herself, so she had devious thoughts. She first bought our father a huge insurance policy, then snuck into the hospital and smothered him to death with a pillow when no one was watching. I told my mother the news that Sierra had gone to prison for murder. My mother's hand trembled as she carefully observed my facial expression. "I always knew your sister was no good. Autumn, you are still the sensible one. You are Mum's little sweetheart. I will have to rely on you from now on." I set the food on the dining table. "Let us not talk about the past. Eat first." My mother nodded repeatedly, and had only taken a few bites when she suddenly let out a terrible scream and spit out a small bloody pebble. My mother looked at me with terror, and I leaned close to her ear, whispering softly, "Mom, what is wrong? Do you not like this joke I am playing?" We have a long time ahead of us. That's our story for today. We hope you enjoyed this incredible tale. Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Subscribe for more captivating stories like this, and don't forget to like and share this video. Thank you for being here with us. See you next time.